Good evening and good evening and good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I'm your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond. And tonight we are favored with Dr. RayeQueen Haymore, who is here. She is here. It's like it's been a minute, but we're here, and these months are rolling. It's like we're getting ready to go into we can say we're in our second quarter. Right?
Yeah,
we're in our second quarter. Yeah, we're in our second quarter. Yes, almost May. So, audience, what we're gonna hear tonight, because there's a couple of things that happen in April, but one of the most things that we're talking about tonight is the concept of minority health awareness. And we know with minority health, there is a lot of disparities. And we also want to know that there's also, I'm saying, let me get a little closer to the camera with this one, that there are interventions, practices that can help us in our community. So tonight, Dr. Karen is going to come to us talking and giving us some answers, giving us some keys, giving us some jewels that can help us combat with these disparities when we're talking about minority health. Black, brown, we got a lot of that going on. Isn't that right?
Yes, too much of it. Unnecessarily.
And it's because, again, that's what's been taught. That's what has been taught. That's why we say we heal ourselves and we heal our communities.
That's right.
That's why we're both here, advocacy here. That's why you have here in the state of Maryland, we have a part of the HPOC Association here. Yeah, we're growing. I've added one more new person on this month. So we're out and we're getting ready to be out, as the young folks say, on and popping in these neighborhoods. So one of the things that we can go back to historically, we talk about Juneteenth, we talk about, all of those things, and we talk about libations and we talk about that. But what are we really talking about when we're talking about the culture of how non-traditional medicines, holistic health? Let's go there. Let's give it the name it is, holistic health, which in one way that I love, it was defined when one of the classes that I took here at HPOC was, it's the holistic, WHOLISTIC, because you got to think about it. We're that three people unit, right? Mind, body, spirit. But the holistic practices actually can twine for all of that holistic way of living. So, Dr. Karen, can you give us a definition of holistic health means and how it differs from the conventional medicine? Because, a lot of people now, we have a lot of stuff out there now, but we have to be wise. We have to learn the wisdom. But can you give us a definition between that and the conventional?
Yeah. So simply put, conventional medicine tends to address the symptom, right? They address the problem. So if you get diagnosed with cancer, for example, conventional medicine will go in and remove the cancer, and then that's it. They think that their job is done, right? Holistic medicine goes in to figure out why you're developing cancer in the first place, and they treat those problems so that the cancer doesn't return. Because we know in conventional medicine, the return rate for cancer is very high. I think it's over 80% of the return rate. So that's a problem. We don't want the cancer to come back. And the problem is that if you just remove the problem, you're not addressing the reason that the problem exists in the first place. So holistic medicine will take into consideration the mind, like you just mentioned, the mind, the body, and the spirit, the whole self, your entire self, because you can't segment. One will have a direct effect on the other. And so you have to address all parts of yourself in order to heal.
So I love that, because that's the one concept that I've gained, even with me starting out back in 2016 when I did the biofeedback. I used to tell people this, and a lot of people look at me, they still look at me strange today when I talk about frequencies and sound, and what it says. And, they they look at it different, but you got to think about it. Why were so many people drawn to this eclipse?
Right.
Why did some of these behaviors happen with
Come on.
the eclipse?
Come on.
I said this in a training the other day to some clients. If the moon moves the water, why don't you think it moves us when we're 80% of water?
Come on now. That's the word. That's the word. You better preach, girl.
So
that's the word.
If anybody don't get nothing else out of this interview tonight, just remember that. That's a holistic way of looking at it. Your mind, your body, and your spirit. If the moon moves water, think about it. If you ever look at a full moon, that's when you see the really rays is really going up to the water because it's moving the water. Mm-hmm. If the moon, how you don't think that the moon won't move us if we're 80% of water? Mm-hmm. And then that comes from grounding. That comes from getting in tune with the nature. Now, that's a whole nother realm of things, that we can talk about here, but we're here to talk about letting this month. Yeah. If you don't do anything out of this month as a person of color, I want you to go back and look at some things historically. What has happened? What has changed our demographics from my generation to generation to generation? Because again, we talk about this all the time. We know when Aunt Boo Boo used to tell you go get them berries off that tree, but now they tell us that they're poison. Which it may be due to what's sprayed around the area, the environment and stuff now. But we can remember that you had to go do these certain things. I can remember. Now, some of the younger kids may not, but you think about it. Those old salves, those old things, those are herbal treatments and different things that help with colds. Yeah. And if we want to be real, Dr. Kang, I move close into this, into the camera again. We want to be real. You didn't hear about a lot of that cancer like we hear about now, which you just talked about. It's just go back to the basics. Getting back to those fundamentals. Yep. The foundation of how our culture, and as you always said, I'll tell you, I could, like they say, sit at the feet. I could just sit at when you be talking about the different things, and I try to give these concepts to the community. You think about it. If we heal ourselves, we're gonna heal our communities.
That's right.
That even means the mind, the body, and the spirit. Whatever. If we heal ourselves, we'll heal the community. But I love it too when you say people of color are bloodborne people. Everything takes place of an illness or sickness take place in the what? Blood.
Yep, hematogenic.
Yeah, that's what it is. So, as we're talking about it, if we're talking about genetically and the population, now we see that there's a boom and everybody is a holistic person now, right? Health is gaining more attention. You have the TikTok remedies. You have all of it. You have it all. But I will say, make sure where you learning this stuff is credible.
That's right.
Credible. Somewhere like HPOC here, credible. Somewhere like here where you can get your information how to become an herbalist, how you can get your information for doing ideology, different things like that. I'm just saying, make sure that it's credible. It ain't somebody doing something in their kitchen, but it's credible and that they're certified.
That's right.
Let me say that again. Certified. I wish I could pull all mine around here and see in this camera right now, but it would take the whole show just about. But
right.
But it's make sure that they're certified. So why do you think that this is such a big, powerful movement right now? I'm gonna hear what you say, but I'm gonna give my 1.5 cents on it.
Okay. We're probably gonna say the same thing or close to. But there's a couple of things. Number one is that there's a cultural awakening going on right now. There's a cultural renaissance and awakening and awareness going on right now. And people are looking for something different. They're looking for something that resonates with them more specifically. We've come to understand that there's not a one size fits all for anything, and health is included with that. And so people want to be looked at as an individual. What do I need specifically? Not how do I fit into the standard, right? And so with this cultural awareness and this cultural awakening, they're realizing some of the stuff that's been given to them and handed down to them isn't effective. Like, why am I taking drugs for 30 years? I shouldn't have to take drugs for 30 years, right? That seems counterintuitive to me. If I have high blood pressure, tell me how to fix it so I don't have to take medication for the rest of my life. And we're also learning that, well, people are learning that, I've always known it, that long-term medication is a problem. Using medication long-term causes other problems in the body. So we don't want one problem to create another problem and then create another problem. So now this one little simple problem you had in the beginning turns into 30,000 other situations that can be avoided. So I think people are starting to realize that this is not the way to do it. Now, I'm not anti-medicine. I want to make that very clear after I gave my little speech. Sick people need medicine. Sick people need drugs. HPOC preaches, sick people need medicine. Our goal is to make you heal yourself, teach you how to heal yourself so that you no longer need the medication. But by all means, if you are sick, please take your medication. Then visit a holistic health specialist who can teach you how to heal what caused the problems in the first place so you no longer need the medication. That's the difference.
So, and I was just to add my 1.5% on that. A lot of it too is, as you said, we're not saying don't take your medicine. We're not anti-medicine. You're right. Sick people need medication. But also I look at it as a going effect. One, a lot of people are not trusting what's going on. I say this all the time. You have an agency that says FDA, right? We know that a lot of that is a lot problematic to me, that this is the agency that approves certain foods, approves certain drugs. And then when you look at if you just look at it, you look at the commercials that come on. Well, taking this is so good, but then they'll run that thing. It may cause night terrors and teams and dreams and whatever else, and may prolong kidney collapse. What?
All of which are worse than what the original problem is. I just have a headache. Now I'm gonna have suicidal thoughts if I
So yeah, I'm just not. I think that's scary. That's scary because, and that's why I always tell people too. Here's another thing for you. Like we said, we heal ourselves, we heal our communities.
That's right.
Always, if you go to the doctor, because that's like me. When I go, they be like, "Oh, I want you to take this." I'm like, "Okay, what's the name of it? How long has this study been out?" But I'm so smart that I know where to go look at it. Medlineplus.gov. Let me say this again. Medlineplus.gov. It can tell you when the medicine came out. It can tell you what is the studies for. And it can tell you just what ingredients are in it. Mm-hmm. Plus, what's so special about this Medline Plus, they even have something on there for kids to learn about the environment. Now, one thing, and it's through the National Institute of Health, the NIH. So I'll tell you how things get lined up in history, because once I worked for a multicultural resource center, I actually got to go to the Library of Medicine and look where they start in treatment. Everything there at this place, down from every surgery, every type of instrument used in surgeries. Actually, this is where the doctors go. Now, I'm going to bring something to the community to think about it. When there was that Ebola outbreak, where did they bring the person to? The NIH. That's where everything is. And you can't tell me ain't no cure there. But we know, again, Food Drug Administration. And I'm not going to go all the way there, because now let's put your thoughts together. We know the reason why of that. So I wash your back, you wash my back, and all together we'll profit all the way to the bank. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. So when we're talking about, again, this month, we're talking about, awareness of minority health, disparities. Basically, that's what it is. It's disparities. What are the most significant health disparities faced in our BIPOC community today?
Oh my goodness. Where do I start? I mean, it's a laundry list. I mean, you can pick 90% of the afflictions in North America, and Black people have the highest rates in most of them. Cardiovascular disease, including high blood pressure, hypertension, even low blood pressure, right? Diabetes, obesity, mental health, cancer. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. And I have my hypothesis around why that's the case, but those are some of the most significant ones are cardiovascular disease. And we can connect that back to Black folks now learning that we are hematogenic people. We are blood-based people. So if our blood is faulty, then we're going to have cardiovascular issues, right? So I won't get on my soapbox today. That'll be another day. But cardiovascular is probably the most prominent one. And then followed by diabetes.
And again, that's all blood. Mm-hmm. That's dealing with your blood. They test your A1C, it's the blood. Mm-hmm. Then that kidney, blood, those. And then when you had a diabetes, affects the heart, affects it's the blood. A lot of
it goes to all the organs.
It goes all the organs, because then you have to go get new blood refreshed and cleansed when you get on the dialysis and all that. And that's a whole nother story on there. So yeah. When you talk about, we talk about the disparities, but then here's something else that's rising: Black maternal health.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it's Black Maternal Health Week.
Yes, this week. Yes. Black maternal health. I have never seen. Now we talk about we want to be natural, we want to be nature, and this is where it comes in with the doulas. I think it's very important now that the increase of doulas for our women, especially women of color, to really think about this. Ladies, I say you're going to need that support, because you think about it. You're carrying this, and then you go, they'll tell you, oh, we're going to give you an induction early. Why? I'm not understanding that. It's a lot of that going on too, early inductions and it's mostly the people of color.
Yeah.
Mostly people of color. It's a lot of early inductions. I'm not understanding why. And here in the past, I could say past 7 years, I've been seeing it. I'm going to induce you early. Why? If it says 40 weeks, then it should be 40 weeks. Why are we doing it at 36, 37? I'm not understanding the reason why. And there's nothing going on. I'm confused. But
and hysterectomies, Black women, they are the first thing they offer for women who have fibroids or anything going on with the reproductive system is a hysterectomy. Total hysterectomies too. Why? It's not necessary to get a total hysterectomy and take away my ability to create kids if I desire. And white women don't get that same treatment. The first thing they offer white women is an alternative form of treatment. Let's see if we can shrink your fibroids naturally. Let's see if we can remove your fibroids, not take out your whole freaking reproductive system. But that's what they do to Black women. So Black maternal health is more than just when you're carrying. It's about being able to carry. And if you're giving me a hysterectomy, that's a problem. So yes, the disparities are there big time. And that's why I'm grateful that we have Black doulas on the rise. We have midwives on the rise. And we've always been in those capacities.
In the beginning,
women have always been in that capacity. The problem is, and that's, we're legislating for this, but the problem is that they took that from us. And they're gatekeeping it from us. But we're fighting for our right to get that back. Because how can you tell my great-grandmother, who's always been a midwife, has always been a doula, that she can no longer practice it, but give the nurses the credentials to be midwives? See, that's the gatekeeping they're doing from us, taking practices away from us that are rightfully ours. And HPAC ain't having it. So we out here, we're fighting for it, but we're not just offering the classes around, teaching us how to heal ourselves, but we're fighting for our right to do so, fighting to get our rights back to do so, because they made it illegal for us. We know that. If you know your history about slavery and how they took away our rights to operate in our natural healing habitat, they made that illegal for us. Illegal. So we're fighting for that. Sorry, I won't get in my soapbox again.
You're fine. Hey, this is what needs. Hey, this is what needs to be. People need to be educated, regardless. Even if a European or a person of Caucasian person will be watching this, it's time to get educated about it. You know, because again, we're trying. Everything's trying to get written off the books of historically. This is history. Because actually, that's what happened. Midwives used to come to the house. Why you think so many people at certain ages right now go to the city and try to get a birth certificate? You can't even find one. You can't even find it. But this is why it's important that we have these conversations. It's important that we educate our communities about these. It's a lot of disparity that shouldn't be.
That's the word.
It should not be.
That's the word.
Shouldn't be at all. So that's why I'm advocating constantly. You might get tired of seeing me talking about it. You might get stuck because I'm blowing up HPOC right now. I'm blowing it up because it's important that we know this, because again, we die because of lack of knowledge.
Whew. That's the word.
We die because there's lack of knowledge, regardless of the way it was, but it's now to move to change.
Right.
And that's what is the most important key that is essential for this day and time. Because again, so much stuff is happening. As you said, that's what I wanted to go back to, this awakening.
Okay.
Because there is an awakening amongst the people. You're being called back to where you originally started from. You might not, and I'm getting chills talking about it right now. With our community, it's not what it's used to, and it's really hard for us to push, but you know something going on, but because I don't understand it, I'm going to say that it's wrong anyway, to be in the crowd. But don't miss out on your blessing by being in the crowd, because that's what I always was taught. Don't follow the crowd. You better follow your soul, what's been going on. That's all I can say on that, because that's even with me with sound bowls. A lot of people, some people won't even come to a retreat because it was the sound bowls, or it just didn't. I can't go to that because I do sound bowls. Well, stay home. It wasn't meant for you anyway. But people still got healed. People still got healed from it, and it's taken me to different places to heal other people. So I'm just saying, just because it doesn't seem normal to you, or something that you've been told is not the right thing to do,
right?
I still say again, everything that God made is good. It's what's your intentions behind it. That's the key. And that's solely the key. So, what are some common holistic modalities that you believe are particularly beneficial for the BIPOC community? And there we go. I just was naming a few. That's
a great segue. Because I was going to say sound healing, vibrational healing. That's one that is really starting to gain its popularity and the respect it's supposed to have, because people of color are naturally vibrational people, right? That's why if you go back to the motherland and in ancient societies, the drums and music was a big part of that. That's because it created a vibration. Those vibrations will resonate with different aspects, because everything in our body is energy, right? Everything vibrates at a certain frequency, just like sound does. And so when we allow our bodies to vibrate in accordance with the frequencies of nature, music, sound, rhythm, whatever, it allows ourselves to heal ourselves, right? And so sound healing, vibrational healing, energy healing, all on the rise, all very valid. And to your earlier point, this cultural awakening also has a component to it where we are re-educating the parts of us that have been miseducated. Because so many people, like the people you spoke about earlier, who don't want to participate because they've been miseducated. They've been taught that these things are evil, they're anti-Christian, they're anti-Muslim, whatever your faith is. They've been taught so many negative things about it. That's where our healing takes place. And that's why the health disparities exist, is because we don't tap into those natural healing modalities that God gifted us. They took that from us, they blocked that from us, and they made it inaccessible to us. That's no longer the case. And so a big part of what's the emerging one, not emerging because they've been around forever, but the ones that are gaining popularity lie in the fact that many people like yourself, like myself, have re-educated ourselves. And now we know the truth around these different healing modalities, right? And so we have a lofty task in front of us because we have to tell our people, and that's not an easy job, child. I'm telling you, I've been doing this a long time. It's not an easy task. So if this has been placed on your heart to be a part of this community, the natural healing community, and you have a desire to heal your people, trust me, that's a calling from God, because it's no easy task.
No, it's not. Mm-hmm. No, it is not. And speaking of that, Dr. Karen, last month, Women's Month, and every year I put on this retreat, warm your heart, warm your mind, warm your soul. It was phenomenal. So what God has placed within me, and I know this is what he replaced me to do, because when I say I took a leap of faith to have men involved this year, I had men involved, and to see, and I'm getting chills talking about, oh God, I'm getting ready to cry now. I'm just thinking about it. I'm envisioning what took place when you partner out with communities. Give me a minute here. When you partner out with communities and you know that this is what you're gifted and called to do, and it can be disappointing. I feel you 100%. It can be, because we're natural healers. We want to heal everybody, right? And it's sad, just because your view of because of sound or whatever. But when I tell you the miracles that took place for broken men to come in a place, come together, cry together, laugh together, and then we all both came combined back together, talking about trauma and still seeing them cry and get released. And for partnering with partners, as I went and took a leap of faith with this to get some men there, for them to run to the taxi cab driver, which is my cousin, Dale Copper. Dale, my cousin, said to me, man, I know you just did it for women. I didn't know you did. I would have came too. And this, that's where you're on the right path. That they ran out the retreat because it was their time to get picked up. Them men still talking about it today. Change has taken place with some of them today.
Yeah.
So this is where we're talking about. But for me, why I try to do this on a seasonal blend, right? I try to do this to move because we change just like the seasons. For me, being as a part of a person who's always healing, I need healing to refresh too, to keep being on that. Yeah. So this will move us into the segue, because in this coming fall, we're planning, and it's very intimate because I don't like to have a whole lot of people. And it's only based out for a few people, because it's a reason why for that too, because you can get so many and then you'll lose the concept or whatever it is. But whoever I say is wanting to do this, I'm going to put something up and I'm going to let you see what it is. And Dr. Karen's going to take part in this too. So
yes,
I am. So look, audience, this is what's going to be happening. Yes, that is the Fall from Fear to Freedom retreat. We will be in ocean, down by the ocean in Virginia Beach. Now, for those who joined me, I did this right after COVID. We are going back again.
Nice.
And when I tell you that miracles do happen, just like at this past retreat last month, miracles happen. It brought me back, said, you need to go back to that Virginia Beach. Now I wanted to do the DR, but it didn't get, but the Virginia Beach, I have 5 people already. So I'm over half of how many people that's supposed to be in there. But let me say this. When we went to Virginia Beach, that did this retreat, Warm Your Heart, Warm Your Mind, back in April of 2020. We walked to the beach and we did like a freedom walk. White feathers just fell down out the sky for no reason.
What's the reason? It's the reason. That's spirit.
That was spirit saying, well, please, well, please. And we walked back. And I mean, I was like, it came from nowhere. We all like looking down like, what? So I'm telling you, that's a part of what flows through, that God uses to flow through me.
And you said feathers, right?
It was feathers.
Yeah. And so, in Kemet, ancient Egypt, what the feather symbolizes. Feathers symbolize dusting, what I want to say it, removing the old so that the new can come in.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
We had just came from the beach. Doing a ceremony. And at the time it was 12 ladies that we went to the beach. We did a lot of pictures, different that. And that's what happened. So even with this retreat in Virginia Beach, we're actually going to have someone come in. And then we're going to do some morning yoga out at the beach side. We're going to have one experience of a personal chef. We're going to have some healthy food cooking demos. We're actually going to do our own Zen gardens. And it's much, much more. Now, Dr. Karen, I will talk later with your hands in it for, but okay. I would love to have a lot more people, but if it's so be it, maybe we could get 2 houses. I don't know, but for right now, I said 12. I'm tapping it off at 12. Now, as you said, I'm at 5, and I'm at 5 now, who has registered and put their little deposits down. But not only that, next year for Warm Your Heart, Warm Your Mind, it's right in tune for you to be in tune for National, Minority Health Month, because I ended March going from your season right into the next season. We're actually going to do the next thing for that. So 15 years, I call that very special for doing something of healing others and healing other people, because that's what this is about. We're supposed to be healing our communities.
That's it.
Period. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Why not? Why not do such of these things? It's very important. So this is what's happening next year. 2025, warm your heart, warm your mind, and warm your soul. This is the 15-year anniversary celebration. The C girls and guys that glow. Now, let me tell you what the GLOW acronym stands for. First of all, we're coming together to grow. We're going to leverage all the keys of wisdom that we can. We're going to be optimistic that we're going to do the change that needs to be changed. And when we all come together for this, we're embracing wisdom, because we're going to carry this wisdom out to be the community people that we should be. And then, again, all that information, I'll be putting it back out again. The first down payment is next month. Of course, you're going to do your own travel arrangements, because this is me. I'm not paying something on something that I know I can't get there. So I'm telling you that I'm leaving it in your responsibilities. Who wants to join? Because I'm not going to pay for the boat and don't pay for my way to get there. I'm not doing that. So that's it. But, this is what we have to do. People like myself and Dr. Karen, we're here to educate our communities. Now, as we talked about those practices, we talked about yoga, we talked about, could you explain how these practices, such as yoga, meditation, herbal remedies, can be tailored specifically to benefit us as individuals?
Oh, yeah. Well, like I've said 1,000 times, a lot of these modalities started with us, with our ancestors. And so, with that in mind, we have to make sure that we're addressing our unique needs, right? There are certain things that speak to our differences. It's not racist to say that we are different. Everybody's different. Like, we have unique biological and physiological needs. Of course, the medical establishment is starting to address that, or to understand that we're just different. Our blood is different. Our arteries are different. We're just built differently. It's not racist. It's just a fact. God created a lot of different people, a lot of different ways. And so with that in mind, you have to adopt these practices, adopt a healthy lifestyle, adopt healthy eating in a way that fits in line with who you are biologically, physiologically, and culturally.
Yeah. That's correct. That's correct. Yeah. So, man, I'm telling you, we could do a whole hour concept. You know what? We might have to put a workshop together for just
do it.
Just, to do this, maybe for something for Juneteenth. Maybe that's what we can do.
Okay.
So, in ending, what advice could you give to that BIPOC individual who may be skeptical? They're like, well, I see all this stuff, but then yet you're wise and you're inquisitive, but you want to get better. What kind of something new that won't be too technical for them to understand? What would you give? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Well, somebody who's new to holistic health, who's kind of skeptical about trying it, I would first say, we all know somebody who kind of dibbles and dabbles with some aspect of holistic health. Talk to that person first, a person that you know and trust, and find out what they know, what they can share with you. And then if you want to take it further and start to receive services, I would encourage you to find a holistic professional of color that can really guide you in a culturally relevant way as you take this journey, right? And then the last thing I would say is, if you really want to learn and dive in, like you mentioned earlier, find a credible, reputable source, because a lot of holistic health modalities are not regulated. Right? They're just not regular. Anybody can call themselves pretty much anything they want to call themselves, right? You want to make sure the person you're dealing with has got some skills, some training. They went to school. They got some type of certification. They did some type of studying to show themselves approved, right? Some type of studies. We all know that. You have to show yourself approved. And not just somebody who just all lollygagging, woke up one day, decided they was going to be a energy healer all of a sudden. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say. Do your homework.
That's exactly right. And I can tell you that we have something here that is very, very credible for you. If you want to take anything that you are heard here today, go to this website right here. Even an introductory can give you some good, valuable. Look, you even leaving with the introduction to tell you what it's all about, what it means. If you want to learn to grow and more into it, I will guarantee you it's credible, it's reputable, and you will get the knowledge and the wisdom and the keys that you can do, and you will be certified.
Yes.
Wow. I'm right here to tell you that. So I've took many courses, and it's very helpful and beneficial to I just walked into the plan. Put it that way. I walked into it. I'm like I tell people, he works with me during the midnight. When the midnight hour, I was up. This came across. I was like, oh, let me read up more, because I'm gonna do my research now. I'm gonna do my research. And Dr. Karen will tell you, I saw her out first. I said, hey, I like to know more. Can I hear it from you? I went to the head. That's what I'm just like, I heard it from you, and I went to the head. Because look, everybody can put something on website. But I want to talk to the head, because then I can get the view what I can see. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and not just TikTok remedies like you called earlier. I love that. I'm gonna have to steal that one.
You got it. And look,
Okay.
it was a post that I put out last week.
Oh, really?
I just had enough, and I was like, it was just so much. And I was like, and somebody said, well, you better trademark that because I'm going to use that. Now, I tell you, I'd have gave people something to think about. And my god sister Roxanne, she was like, you giving some wisdom. I said, it's too many monkeys and not enough bananas.
Ah. Love it.
Too many monkeys and not enough bananas.
Not enough bananas.
That's not enough. Not enough. So I tell you, go get some knowledge. Again, Dr. Kane, it's always a pleasure to have you here. It's always a pleasure to have you here. I'm just looking at the great things of this coming up. And now, is there anything that's coming up at HPOP? Anything special in the next cup until we can meet again next month?
Yes. So to end National Minority Health Month, we're going to do a Holistic Health Summit. It's a virtual Holistic Health Summit, and it's geared toward practitioners. So anybody who's already in the field of holistic health or looking to get into it, we're going to do a virtual summit. It's going to last 4 hours long, I think, and it's going to cover so much. It's going to cover trends in holistic health, trends specifically in the BIPOC community, the types of herbs and programs that are, like we talked about today, that are on the forefront, things that people might want to consider getting certified in or learning more about because it's in high demand. We're going to cover setting up your holistic health business because that's a big question we get all the time. It's going to cover a lot of topics. So if you're interested in holistic health, or if you're already in it and you want to take your business to the next level, look for that summit. Information will be on our social media pages on Facebook and Instagram.
All right. And I'm actually going to work. I promise I'm going to finish that course and just record it. I just, me, I'm a stickler about how things look, but I have this next course that's going to come out with dealing with resiliency and sleep. The benefit. So that's going to be coming for a short course pretty soon. Once I get it through, I just got to go back and record it. I just wasn't happy with what I put out.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Dr. Michelle Bolden Hammond is a visiting professor, so she teaches courses at HPOC as well. So look for her classes on the short courses page on the website.
Yay! So yay! See, we're moving right along. Oh, I think we will talk about the conference in September.
Save the date. Right now we have the early bird special. So if you sign up now, it's only $299, I think, $299. And that covers 3 days of all of your meals. It covers all the workshops, all the healing sessions, all the seminars, the graduation. We have an awards banquet. It covers all of that. Like, you get a lot of value for that $300. That's only for the early bird special, because anybody who plans conferences or anything knows that the closer it gets to time, the higher the price gets, the higher your vendors charge, the more your vendors charge. So that's going on right now. That ends in middle of May, and then the price will increase. So if you're coming to the conference, you plan on coming to the conference, sign up now with the early bird special. And we also offer Afterpay. That's a service that will allow you to make payments. So if you don't have all the money right now, but you want to use it, sign up today using Afterpay.
And that's no excuse, because half of them use it to go on these trips. That's no excuse. That's making it affordable. I'm telling you, much as you go to your food to go to these restaurants, do something and invest in yourself for your life. I'm just gonna, you know what, Dr. Karen, you get ready to get me started. I'm just getting ready to get. Again, everyone, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul podcast. And listen, we got some phenomenal things that's happening that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. We got May. I'm having an affirmation t-shirt May the 18th. There's an affirmation t-shirt where you're going to bling t-shirts out with affirmations, words that fit you. It's a brunch. Hey, I'm having all of this. Try to empower us. See, again, Get involved and invest in yourself. $50 is not bad. You're getting a meal, plus you're getting a Bling Drool t-shirt. Come on. Got vendors who got natural skincare products. We got people who's going to bring juice in. We got things going on. Healthy desserts. Trust me, you're going to get tired of saying stuff because I'm rolling it to try to educate and help the community. So you know what I'm going to say, as I always say, if you don't feel that you're loved, just know that you are loved here at the Upfront Mind, Body, Soul podcast. Until next week, take it light, and hey, practice those good self-care practices. Take care.